John Whangai here, Rotorua, New Zealand. Time now is 7:48 in the evening of the 12th of January 2016. Just an update for the Waitangi celebrations with our chief, Kingi Taurua. Been talking to him today about John Key and Obama, the 4th of February 2016, likely to be signing the TPPA agreement somewhere in Auckland, Sky City, or up at the Copthorne Hotel in Waitangi, around the issues of the 1835 Declaration of Independence flag here, you see, flying behind me, and the Admiralty court-martial law flagpole that's sitting in the treaty grounds with our flag, this flag, on the right-hand side of the crossbar of the mast, and the British flag on the left side, always been there, and the Union Jack up the top, the 1902 New Zealand flag, and their sovereignty supposed to be from Queen Elizabeth II through the Navy, but the Queen has abandoned ship of Admiralty, that's the court in this country, New Zealand, and where the courts get their jurisdiction from, the Admiralty straight to England, British military, Navy, and Westminster Parliament. Statute law, extant forevermore, is this flag of King William IV, 1835 Declaration of Independence flag. Now, this is our private commercial trading bank flag, sovereign authority, that's still current today as the only flag in the world that is a bank trading flag, a commercial flag of trade between one country and the other, free passage through the world, in our case 250 countries. We are taking this flag straight now. I have enforced it today on this video, and also with an agenda for Waitangi. I'll read it out shortly and read it right through so that you're listening on this video, people who are watching. The taumata from 4 regions, Te Tai Takura, Te Tai Rāwhiti, Te Tai Tonga, and Te Hau Au Uru, 4 regions of a Maori or Indigenous Native Council of Chiefs Confederation government of this country, under this flag of jurisdiction. Okay, so I'm here speaking for King William IV as his surrogate partner in business with the taumata, chiefs, HAPU, of this country, New Zealand and Pacific Islands. The 7 points of this 8-point star is the 7 wakas of the Pacific Ocean title, ahead of John Key and his 12 nations TPPA assumed authority and title over the Pacific, and not ahead of this most powerful flag in the world of commerce and Admiralty, mortgage, lien, levy, creditors, King's Bench Bank Court in the world. Okay, so we're starting off. The King's Bench Court is silent partner no more, now that the Queen has vacated as the head trustee of our Queen Victoria Trust. That's still there in Westminster Parliament. I'm going there to replace her, sack her as the head trust, and the King and Queen of Spain as the other 2 trustees, and Prince Andrew as the other 4th trustee. I'm going there to audit the books under the authority of the Taumata Collective in Congress assembled at Te Marae in Waitangi. Now that taumata will open its upper house of Parliament on the 4th of February 2016, and it will fly this flag on the top pole of the treaty grounds when we confiscate the sheriff, myself. After the upper house is open of Parliament, it now rules over the lower house of John Key in Wellington. That's only a 3-year government in exile of Australia, New South Wales. Alien. Okay, so those titles have been destroyed or extinguished by Pope Francis of their trusts and their corporations. Now, I went to court, the Auckland District Court, in front of Judge Grant Fraser, and he found me not guilty of any charges of forced entry onto 77 Cook Street, or 1/61 Cook Street, or 90 Wellesley Street, of 2.822 hectares of land opposite the Sky Tower, and on Nelson Street, the corner of Cook Street and Wellesley Street. All that complex there, we're seizing back with a writ from the judge, who is Gibson. Gibson did my last court case, and so we are going in front of him with our native assessor and our taumata collective assembly of Congress behind that title. One land of 66 million acres of land the Queen says she owns. The King actually owns. All his assets are seized back by default of her abandoning ship and exiting Westminster Parliament for EU Parliament, where she is now. So John Key has a problem establishing his title without a real flag, because the British will take his flag away. That's why he wants to make a new flag which has no grounding, no existence, no connection to any piece of land. It's just the whim of a flag, like the US dollar fizzles out into a puff of smoke. There is nothing connected to it, to any ancestral inheritance of natives to that land. John Key has no title to these lands. He only had occupation titles under the Queen, who's gone now. He goes with her and her Governor-General, who has no jurisdiction. That's what I said to the judge, Judge Grant Fraser. I said to him, as representing myself coming out of prison and standing in front of him and saying to him, you have no jurisdiction, you have no Queen above your head, you have no sovereignty, and you have no legal right or lawful right or legitimate right to try me in this court, because of the documents that you are using are fraudulent and are forged by one Natalie Flowerdew Brown, detective, who have designed those forms without lawyers or barristers or even the Solicitor General authority. Solicitor General's authority. She put those together herself and swore to it to someone of an authority I want disclosed, as I write to the judge for disclosure, full disclosure of what I want, of information about how she constructed her illegal, unlawful and unconstitutional documents to arrest me. Okay, so I want the court case dismissed and her put on trial with 40 other third-party temporars of my information of a private contract between me and the landowners of that property, Cook Street, James Pierce Brown and Simon Brent Roundtree, and their lawyers, conveyancing lawyers, Mark Hornibrook and Andrew MacDonald, and other conveyancing lawyers connected to Jamie Peters, the first of the title holders in 2008, to Doug Rickard Bell, using the same lawyers, those two lawyers, and more than likely the same lawyers for these present occupiers. Now we're going to seize that land back, this time with a writ. If Natalie Flowerdew Brown, if you're watching this video, you'll be served an affidavit to refute within 72 hours. If you fail to refute it, it's because you've forged the documents, and my truth stands as law, is law, over any decision making of New Zealand police, which has corrupted the justice system and broken New Zealand law. I have not broken any New Zealand law. I've followed it, and we have our own taumata upper house law that I'm putting together to pass the acts up there and raise our flag, this flag, the most powerful flag in the world of commerce, and the King's Bench Court. Okay, and the pound note that the Rothschilds are using, banks, will be foreclosed by this flag, and us, the partner to the British military, who will be used to, obligated to protect our business between us and Britain. And that was a contract, is still a contract, a private contract between us and the British military and Westminster Parliament, and now King William's party in Britain, and our Hanover title, holdings, and his inheritance on his land, William Yard. Raised the flag beside his memorial and put Moai memorial right beside it as well. Okay, so those are two memorials, the most powerful memorials in the world, the Roman Emperor, kings, and the British Emperor, King William IV to Ernest Augustus V, living King of Britain, UK, and Hanover, and Moai Pacific Islands, and the world New World Order of this 8-point star, and our Irish St. Patrick's Church Order with the flag. Okay, so now I want to read out what I have put for the agenda for that meeting, the celebrations of the Waitangi Treaty in the Bay of Islands on Titi Marae, and Kingi Taurua will be arranging that for the 4th of February for the taumata from around the country. You're watching this video. I want you to come up with your rangatira and their laws and plans, business plans, to develop your lands in your regions, one of the 4 regions of parliaments, Te Tai Tokoro, and Te Tai Rāwhiti, Te Tai Tonga, South Island, and Te Hau Auru on the west coast. Those 4 regions are 4 separate republic parliaments that you must bring with you, and only the taumata will talk in the whare and the door will be shut. The taumata will decide in short order to raise the flag on the pole on the treaty grounds and seize that land and its marae back into the HAPU ownership control. Up goes the flag on the top pole, and the Union Jack remains on the crossbar on the right hand side where the 1835 Declaration of Independence flag has been sitting for a long time with us. That's the Admiralty, will now be up the top. And the British flag is still on the left hand side, our partnership with Westminster in Britain, under contract with our flag right now at the top. The bank of the pound note, the commerce, the king of the sea, the King's Bench Court on the land. Now our flag is on the land with the ship that we've seized. We're seizing all the land right through the world under the Moai Crown, King William, Commonwealth of the world government that overarches the whole world and the local, national government of this country, which will be run under the guidance of the taumata, upper house or House of Lords, and the chosen government under the rangatira, who will get the consent from the taumata on the 4th and onto the 5th day. The taumata will pick 12 elders out of the collective assembly of Congress in the whare or on the land where Kingi says. That'll be the authority straight to the United Nations, to Westminster Parliament, to Switzerland, Swiss Bank, to the World Court in Brussels. I'll be in a capacity of the surrogate King William IV Speaker, with that authority under the 8-point star crown and a sheriff confiscation of all the King's possessions and stolen property, gold, 1.5 million tonnes of gold missing that the Queen Bench Court has hidden around the world. The British military will be paid with the pound note, and then they, hang on a second, pound note in advance of 10 years. So if you're listening, Nicholas Horton, the Chief of the Army, then this is a message for you, and for Sir George Zimbalist, the Rear Admiral of the Navy, British Navy, this is for you. Both that you will now be under this flag of jurisdiction and Constitution 1835, and the laws of King William IV 1830 to 1837 applies, as it was then, as it still is in statute law in Westminster Parliament, extant forevermore. That's fixed with our Confederation of Chiefs of Aotearoa, New Tireni, here in New Zealand, at Te Tii Marae, straight to England, under the land laws of England. Okay, so now to the taumata at Waitangi and around the country, and to the rangatiras that have their own laws. You have to bring laws other than Maori laws, because Maori, the word Maori and the word iwi belongs to the Crown of John Key's government. We will not accept any other form of literature that has been bastardized by the Crown into capital letters as another dead person, of how they have done that to me and got caught on Cook Street. And that's, you'll see that with Natalie Flowerdew Brown caught in forging identity theft and forging statements as if they were true, without any authority from a higher source that she is practicing. As a police has put the police, 15,000 of them, up to 15,000 of them, as libelled, and libelled the judges. She has libelled everybody that is now linked as third party to the fraud landowners and their conveyancing lawyers. It's very serious that we had to take our country back into our ownership and demolish or extinguish your titles, John Key, and you locked up. Your name is on my documents in the High Court of Admiralty in London. It's on video with Kirsten is there as the Judge David Lindsay Mackey's secretary. So she has is on the video with me, talking to me that she received that complaint against you, John Key, with your name on it, and my QC lawyer, you, Taek Choi, is now your lawyer, that signed it and stamped it and put his photo on it. You're fixed. in as a levy debtor and lose everything you own, including your titles to this country, having any interest in it. All interests shall be removed and seized of because of what the Pope has done, taken all your laws off you because of the fraud means of using them. Now, I'm going to read this out to you. I'll just check on my video to make sure it's running. Yes, it is running, and I'll just go back to the document just to make sure we have it running at 20 minutes now so far, so it'll reach an hour by the time I get through the document. But I want to make this statement quite clear. That is, I'm talking as the doctrine of discovery title to the Pacific Islands through Moai statute memorial ahead of any other alien title coming from America, which is owned by the Queen illegally, smashing it to bits and smashing Europe to bits and smashing Britain to bits. This is the Queen Elizabeth II that you and Obama, you're watching this video, you're libelled now with Evelyn Rothschild and his Bank of England foreclosed with this flag. This flag you've been usurping all these years will be found out with the British military, our partner, shall be paid in lieu of Cook Street, Seizure, and every other piece of land right through the world under this native and King William private contract, Admiralty, court-martial law. Okay, so we have instruments of levy debtor as the creditor myself and sheriff to confiscate all property and bank accounts that you have amassed your fortunes and spent it on the war. We're going to audit our trust in the HM Treasury in England. We're going to audit all Westminster's accounts and the House of Lords. It will be done under military of all the 250 countries joining us with this flag. When it raises here at Waitangi and on Cook Street and in Devon, England to Devonport, Auckland, New Zealand, and Plymouth, New Plymouth, here to Plymouth in England, King William's estate land property inheritance is our commercial property business partnership affair. Okay, so that's our business. It's nobody else's business but ours. So I want to now read what I've written for all those attending. On the 4th, the taumata. On the 5th, the rangatira to form the government of themselves and this country and the people in it. And on the 6th, John Key gets his notice to pack his bags and go with Jerry Mateparae Andrews back to England and back to where all their rubbish laws come from. Okay, because we're going to start our own laws, which is King William's laws. Right, it goes like this. Moai Crown King William the 4th NWO Senate, that's New World Order Senate of the 8-point star. You'll see it on the documents I put on Facebook. Under that, taumata kaumatua o ngā puhi, te ti marae Waitangi, North Island. And then, that's the local marae there, and then you've got the taumata kaumatua manuhiri marae in all 4 hapu regions of New Zealand. That means the Congress Assembly of all the chiefs, elders from the country. And those who can't get there can always wait 12 months later and come back again. We'll replay the same again, and re-elections to make sure we keep in touch with the rest of those who can't get there. So we're going to start with what we've got and authorise opening. 1, Te Tai Rāwhiti region. 2, Te Tai Tonga region. 3, Te Tai Tokerau region. And 4, Te Hau o Uru. Te Tau Hau Uru. Those are the 4 regions of an original Maori government in this country, or the Hapu native, not Maori. Now, the agenda for the 4th, 5th, 6th February 2016, Kingi Taurua, Te Ti Marae Taumata Kaumātua. directed to, okay? 1. The 1840 Treaty of Waitangi Celebrations Agenda, Priorities of Governorship. Ngāpuhi did not cede sovereignty, HAPU sovereignty. 2. TPPA, Climate Change, Fracking, Chemtrails, Pollution, Corruption, Admiralty Court Martial Law, Obama signing New Zealand. 3. Police corruption as third party tampered with 1/61 Cook Street, Auckland land transfer mortgage fraud transaction, identity theft. 4. Maryland Court, Waitangi Tribunal settlement, claims are unacceptable. Iwi who settled claims aren't King William IV claims. 5. Taumata declares the HAPU Upper House of Parliament Te Tii Marae open for business on the 4th of February 2016, closed door policy, NZ, New Zealand. 6. Rangatira Rangatahi agreement with Taumata or Ngāpuhi and Manuhiri Taumata Collective on the 5th of February 2016. 7. Moai HAPU native King William IV flag raising legislation. Te Tii Marae 4th of February 2016, 10 a.m. Britain, UK, Westminster Parliament. 8. Flag historic landmark Geographical Society Historic Places Trust Authenticity Chiefs Hui flag site at Ngaere Pohutakawa Tree. 9. Sue Nikora political delegation send to United Nations budgets attach funding laws submitted to Taumata Upper House 4th of February 2016. 10. Rangatira forms political authority, self-government elections, submit laws and portfolio positions to Aotearoa Taumata on the 5th of February 2016. 11. 6th of February 2016, Taumata Upper House Sovereign Authority enforces HAPU laws on Prime Minister John Key, Crown Government Lower House. 12. News, Chile, 11th of January 2016, not New Zealand, that President Ama will sign TPPA in New Zealand with Prime Minister John Key on the 4th of February 2016. 12 countries is a threat. 13. Urgent. Taumata from me, King John, that's my title. Kahaki Wanoa, Surrogate King William IV, timing is paramount, raise flag, Upper House. 14. King John, Hawani Kahaki Wanoa, that's me, King William IV, Crown Sheriff, levy creditor, scribes, videos, records, events for Taumata. 15. All Taumata are given a one-page document to register and sign their native HAPU laws, business plans into Moai Crown King's Law. Now, those are the list of the agenda of things we're going to be talking about. And the agenda is for the 4th of February 2016, breakfast at 7 a.m. at Te Tii Marae, Waitangi, for those contributing to the hui. At 9 o'clock a.m., the porphyry starts. 10 o'clock, open the Upper House in urgency of Obama and John Key TPPA signing agreement at the Copthorne Hotel as an assumed venue, otherwise it's the Sky City Tower in Auckland Central, where they'll more than likely be signing that agreement, which is illegal, unconstitutional, and fraudulent. So we are putting that as a paramount threat to this country and its national interests. The elite cabal and their corporate crown private companies are muscling in on our New Zealand people's country and ownership. That's what's got to stop. Okay? So, okay. Taumata from other regions of HAPU chiefs Taumata of Aotearoa, New Zealand, who forms an official sovereigns of an upper house of parliament, Taumata in Congress. Chiefs, 1835 Declaration of Independence, Sovereign Authority, founding flag, raised immediately on the top of the Navy flagpole in the treaty grounds on Ngāti Kawa land by the rangatira at the end of the Taumata Upper House hui. This flag-raising ceremony is for New Zealand First Peter Paraoni, Hirini Henare, Hohepa Epiha and the Taumata Congress Authority Assembly. Should be completed shortly after the Taumata of Aotearoa Country, Motu, 4 regions sign the documents are whole for them enforced from that point on. There is a private commercial contract agreement, Moai, Crown, King William IV Trust, Commonwealth New World Order Senate Committee, based on the Moai Uetaha Wā Noa Raiatea Island Royal Tahitian family, ancestral inheritance lands at Te Pito, Mokonui Urupa Memorials, Marangaro Marae, East Cape, North Island, New Zealand, direct to Te Pito on Rapa Nui, Urupa, burial grounds, Moai statue memorials at Anakena, Easter Island, direct to Devon, Port, England, King William IV ancestral inheritance stone memorial land of his successors, King Ernest Augustus V, age 66, King of Britain, UK, Hanover, and Moai Pacific Islands Commonwealth will. He succeed to his son, Prince Regent Ernest Augustus, aged 33, who we envisage as the King of Britain UK successor immediately of the opening of the Upper House and Moai Senate Committee in London and East Cape, Advance Acts of Moai Pacific Region and British UK New World Order Commonwealth Government of a New World Order British UK Moai HAPU Partnership, overarching the native Maori government partnership, supporting the taumata or Ngāpuhi and their native custom lands, to join forces at Te Marae on the 4th of February for the taumata kaumatua opening of the Upper House of Parliament in a closed-door decision-making political process authentication of documents to take a delegation to the United Nations in New York, The Hague, the World Court in Brussels, Westminster Parliament, London, and Switzerland to the Swiss Bank. This is a Congress decision. Who is best profiled for this position must be proficient in New Zealand political law as a seasoned government ready native individual who is confident and equipped with a correct government documents. That means a Prime Minister or President of a republic here amongst the native indigenous people of this country. Okay, so that's all I'm just saying. Note also that out of a national taumata of elders in Congress assembled at Te Marae, the majority chooses 12 taumata elders who represent Aotearoa Country as native sovereign authority administrators, 12 political executors who watch over the HAPU government's administrators who manage a self-government ruling authority autonomously or as a dual New Zealand government, Moai HAPU government. Okay, so that's the options of having a dual government or throw John Key's government and his Governor-General right out. That's Sue Nikora's option from Te Taira Whichi and Uapohatu HAPU on the east coast up the road from me. Okay, so that's her decision, and I will back her if the Taumata Collective decides she's the best as a Prime Minister of this country, and she's well and truly up to it. As far as I'm concerned, no one better than her in the indigenous, well, here in the Pacific Islands. She's the best. Okay, so I can say that much for you, Sue Nikora. If you're watching this video, I'm plugging one for you. Okay, even though we don't really get on too well now, and with Hohepa Ipiha we have slid sideways in our own fields of profession and I stay as I am and adjudicate what my ancestors, John Rogan, judges of this country and Australia, and the Cosgrove lawyers have put together for my brain to work like them. Okay, so I have a thing or two about Ireland, Irish 8-point star, that we have our authority in my family to use that as my authority, as well as the Moai statute authority of God's law, truth, sovereign, and also King William's authority of man's law in Britain, UK, as being all authority over any authority that can match that. I haven't seen yet refuted on Facebook. All the stuff you see on Facebook is admissible in the High Court of Admiralty in London, but not here in New Zealand, because they can't hack the truth. It's the same as America. Obama cannot stand truth. Anybody in America that's working with Obama is fraudulent, I can tell you straight. And John Key and the elite people through Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Britain is corrupted. Right beyond a joke for the people of the world, gathering together to take all their land and resources back off the elite. Okay, so I'm here for the common people of the world and the common law of King William IV. He was for good of man and his labour. And that's what the Queen and her female bloodlines corrupted, and now the King takes it back into our custody and control. Prince William, you must stay right out of using our flag or usurping any more of our authority. You go back to Spain, where it's all corrupted, and your father, Juan Carlos, and stay there. And don't fool around with the British military and us, their partner, because we're going to pay them with all the levied debtors against you and your corrupted paedophile family, and Prince Charles and his mother. Okay, so they're all corrupted, like Pope Francis, trying to be nice, but he's levy-debted as well, using our Admiralty court-martial law, and Obama. Okay, 11:30 in the morning on the 4th, I expect Tamati Reid, Taumata, and Uetaha HAPU of Potiki Rua ki Waipu area, Rangitokia, East Coast, and also to Sue Nikora, Queer of Uepohatu HAPU, work she did in the United Nations, and what she has done for her fight to get our lands back from the Crown Corporation here in John Key government fraud administrators occupying our lands illegally. She speaks about Busby, Mokopuna, and sayds statements. I sat with her and Anne Satanen in 2012, right in front of him for 2 hours. She's going to do it again. Okay, Kingi, Taurua, Sunakora. If the taumata agrees, she will get rid of John Key and Jerry Mateparae Andrews off this land and in jail. Okay. Off the record book, so, hang on, I'll say that again. She speaks, Sunakora speaks about Busby, Mokopuna, and cites statements off the record book she's holding in her hands about Ngāti Hine Hapu as being beholding to Ngāpui chiefs' Declaration of Independence flag origins of the Confederation. Hohepa Epeha better acknowledges the 1835 Declaration of Independence flag authority from under the Pohutukawa tree at Tingaere, over the hill from Mateparae Bay, where Busby made this flag of King William for history. He now wants recorded in the geographical maps. He's had meetings with the Department of Conservation DOC to include the flag, our flag, this one, and meetings of all chiefs under this tree on the riverside by the sea, where all the waka canoe came in and stayed in the paddock here marked in history of Aotearoa beginning of Pākehā settlements in the area of Bay of Islands, in a signed agreement between Busby for the British UK government and Moai Hapu native chiefs. there wasn't Maori, Pākehā, iwi tribe invented yet. At that time, 1835 to 1945, but Moai native Tahitian people. Sorry, there was only Moai native Tahitian people, and Ngāpuhi is Tahitian, and so is Mateparae and Tainui. So there, Arawa is Hawaiian. Right, the taumata kaumatua hohepa epiha will make the official trademark of Ngāpuhi ho mea hui e tahiki e to signal approval from the other taumata assembled in Congress to raise the Moai, Hapu, Sovereigns, Chiefs, Declaration of Independence flag on the Navy Ship of Admiralty flagpole opposite the New Zealand Government Treaty grounds Marae that was just spoken about and agreed to, and that it would take 12 months to deal with issues. Starts with TPPA, global warming, raising the Confederation flag, the Maori Land Court, sacking John Key government. Rather than talk about tribunal hearings, but deal with Kawanatanga, New Zealand government. Governor-General and Prime Minister John Key, immediately after the Upper House of Parliament is open for business on the 4th of February 2016, with the Declaration of Independence flag raised on the Treaty Grounds pole at 12 a.m. Okay, on the same 4th day of February 2016. Now, at 12 noon, I am presenting a flag ceremony for Moai Crown King William IV Commonwealth One World Government. Is outside the scope of the Taumata Hapu based in Britain, UK, as the Moai Crown King William IV Government Forum for the Moai King William Party originated in Britain, UK, for here in Rangitukia, East Cape, North Island, New Zealand, on the Haho 7B land block, and the new marae site on the Marangaro land at Te Pito Point Historic Settlement inside our Uetaha Tupuna Hapu, Potikirua ki Waiapu ancestral inheritance lands. So, I will be keeping minutes of Te Ti Marae Hui attendance for Ngāti Kawa Hapu and the National Hapu Taumata Assembly in Congress, Land Title Administration Authority, kept in the Te Ti Marae and other marae. Please note that the minutes I write for the hui at Te Ti Marae remains with the collective Hapu Taumata on that marae with its own Taumata Chiefs, Directive to Britain UK, Westminster Parliament, King William IV successors. I am writing my own agenda for my Ueta Hapu Taumata. I share with the Taumata of other marae, share all my legal documents and information I disclose for the benefit of all whānau hapu, to help them arrange their own business plans and political government laws in documentations. Hohepa is setting a kaupapa from Ngāpuhi Hapu Taumata Kaumatua gathering first, and then a National Hapu Taumata Kaumatua Congress assembled as planned for the 4th of February 2016. Hui to confront John Key government on the 6th of February 2016 Te Ti Marae. The agenda now for the 5th of February 2016 is breakfast at 7 a.m. at the Te Ti Marae, Waitangi, for those contributing to the hui. At 9 o'clock, the 12 elected Taumata elders representing the national Taumata from all Hapu natives chiefs, Te Ti Marae attendances around the Motu country of Aotearoa New Tireni, New Zealand, meet with the rangatira of the Hapu from the 4 regions of Aotearoa. Now this is a meeting of the rangatira with the taumata to thrash out a government to run themselves independent of John Key's government. Right. Please note for the taumata in Congress assembled, record that rangatira and arataki gave their taumata kaumatua elders from their marae in one of the 4 regions their laws of their hapu and their business development plans, including environmental issues, governing structures and other policy matters for Congress native government approval for over the next 12-month period to the 6th of the 2nd, 2017 for representation or amendments to their native laws. The Hapu taumata in their regions shared their new information with Congress Native Council of 12 members to redistribute to other taumata throughout the Motu country. The main purpose of an upper house shall veto any political decisions such as TPPA threat against Moai Crown King William IV Trust, Commonwealth of the New World Government, financial investment interests, and that of Maori, Hapu and Taumata land ownership, Kaitiaki, administrator, national sovereignty, trademark priorities. Okay, so then Moai, 300 AD to 1835, Queen Elizabeth II and her private company, Washington DC, Buckingham Palace, Trust, Church and State of England, Government Trust, Rothschild Banks, Private Corporate Bank of England, Trust, Pope Francis, Vatican City, Church and State Governments Trust, and Westminster Parliament's Moai Hapu Natives Queen Victoria Trust. Private corporations took our Moai King William IV flag sovereign authority into a corporate, fraud, corrupted federal state, international church and state, private commercial contract, Royal Commonwealth conglomerate, King's Bench Court of Admiralty, martial law, mortgage fraud business. Right, this is the King William IV continuation of sovereignty, flag of commercial trading bank for free passage through the world with British UK military protection for the development of trade that my Crown King William IV Commonwealth Government UK, Britain, sheriffs attach confiscation writs to the Queen's Bench Court operating Ponzi scam business in countries using Queen Elizabeth II as their head of state, now liable in the King's Bench Court of 250 countries, including New Zealand, district and high courts. Okay, and then I go on to Native Hapu 1835 to 1945. That period, the Declaration of Independence Native Hapu of Aotearoa New Tireni includes the 1830 to 1837 King William IV Flag Seal of Sovereignty, Admiralty, Boer War period, East India Company and South Africa wars. Then 1902 Union Jack flag to 1933 US federal state bankrupted America with the Rothschild Banks found notes, and then 1952 Sovereign Queen Elizabeth II crown fake coronation to the end of the World War II when the Maori soldiers came home to their lands, now all cut up and sold by the colonial government under Queen Elizabeth II, reigning sovereign monarch. Maori Native Land Court is owned by the New Zealand Crown corporate government, who invented their own tribe called Iwi Maori, Pākehā Whakapapa land titles called Kupapa. That means traitor. Okay, Maori Hapu in the year 1945 to 2016 currently. The Second World War ended and Maori was struggling to be heard in Parliament and was never going to get the numbers behind them, then ended up second-rated and pandering more to the major parties. Saw more Maori land being carved up and sold. The Queen, in the meantime, enjoyed all the accolades of, at one stage, Hine Whare Harawira threw mud at her, and so today the Queen has abandoned ship of Admiralty parked on the Waitangi Treaty grounds as her Admiralty Court of Mortgage Liens, debtors' laws. You can never get out of paying with promissory notes that the Queen collects the gold and deposits into our Queen Victoria Trust, while you get the useless paper money that has almost vanished in a puff of smoke US dollar pyramid scam and obelisk penis in Vatican City, John Key's government has no legal title to selling off his own state iwi Maori sovereignty bonds investment instruments. Now, that was that. Then we go on to agenda for 6th of February 2016. The breakfast is at 7 a.m. at Te Marae, Waitangi for those contributing to the hui. 9 a.m. The 12 elected taumata elders are now an official, legitimate Confederation of Chiefs Upper House of Parliament Sovereign Authority and Native Council of Executors who now approve the rangatira's business plans and laws they gave to their taumata to pass in front of the Upper House on the 4th of February 2016 for 12 months implementation. Now, the rangatira can now take their laws and business plans to their hapu to enforce their own authority over their own lands. It means then consent to the native, and those who affiliate from the public non-natives can now exercise their rights for the very first time in 181 years. The taumata kaumatua of Ngāpui and the rest of the taumata arataki and rangatira from the native councils of hapu from around the country can now stop any alienation of their lands and investigate every title of those lands, as in our case Moai Crown. Federal state sheriffs will enforce their laws over the ancestral lands. In the case of Moai, hapu native titles are now the sovereignty monarch memorial lands of the doctrines of discovery titles that have been hidden by John Key, New Zealand, New South Wales colonial government without a queen or a king sovereignty jurisdiction, as against Moai King William IV memorial titles of commercial banking, money, inheritance, that only the legitimate surname appears on their British, UK, Westminster land laws of England registrar of founding doctrines, deeds from Glasgow Real Estate Company in Scotland, the Manukau Land Company. This is all that was required to satisfy Britain. 10 a.m. New Zealand. Governor-General Jerry Mateparae Andrews' family adopted surname is forfeited onto Te Marae in front of the chief taumata Kingi Taurua and his Ngāpuhi taumata on one side of the marae and Aotearoa national taumata of the motu from around New Zealand on the other side facing the Governor-General. Then the Upper House of Native Council Parliament taumata, 12 councillors, will stand and address the Governor-General their decisions to self-govern themselves as a fully operational government and do one of two things. 1. Second, as the Queen's representative, because Queen Elizabeth II has abandoned ship of Westminster and gone into the EU Parliament as a conflict of interest to the taumata native chiefs, while she is still our head of trustee, and that we intend sacking her to and replace her with John Kahakiwano, that's me, head trustee, or someone of equal or better indigenous native surname credentials to take that position of continued sovereignty to King William IV. Now she left the monarchy, as what I said to Judge Grant Fraser in my court hearing on the 3rd of October 2015. This proof of claim statement on record in Auckland District Court that day as a Queen's Bench private contract court. The Taumata Council of Chiefs in Congress assembled, number 2, makes a decision on the 4th to form a government and allow the New Zealand government to operate their business under reduced powers by the Taumata Upper House of Parliament, House of Lords, in Waitangi Marae, now returns to Aotearoa New Tireni Nations Taumata ownership to control what decisions are legislated at the lower house of Parliament in Wellington, New Zealand, now vetted and or vetoed by the upper house of Parliament in Waitangi after the taumata seizes Waitangi Marae back into its collective hapu custody, sovereign powers to our legal partners British Government Westminster. Parliament and British UK military, our high authority comes directly from our commercial contract private business with King William IV, British Military Protectorate of that trading bank flag, which gives us free passage through the will under the King's Bench Court of Admiralty Mortgage Bank Loan Levy Lien instruments of a private corporate business currently legally operating while Pope Francis destroyed all corporations and trusts in the world except our corporate flag of a king on Britain UK 1835 Declaration of Independence principle the agent authority to foreclose on any Crown agent, their trust bank, their bank, corporations, governments, lawyers, barristers, judges, police enforcement officers, New Zealand politicians, Crown, state entities, church and state, public servants, notary public, justice of the peace, military officer, prime minister, queen, king, princess, prince, president, priest, bishop, pope, banker, properties, bank accounts, investments, gold bullion shares, and personal and corporate business that my sheriff seizes back. Okay, so they're liable in the event of the taumata raising the 1835 King William IV flag on the Admiralty shipmast in the treaty grounds and upper house of Parliament opening for business. Then this flag will be the most powerful Admiralty court-martial flag of jurisdiction in the world. That is enforced as of today, 12th of January 2016, today, with Chief of Te Tii Marae Kingi Taurua phone call with me, video notice. That's today. I'm enforcing this flag, raising on that pole now, right now, and opening the upper house of Parliament right now as the surrogate King William IV authority. Okay, now all they have to do is carry it out and execute it on the 4th of February 2016. It's enforced right now, Kingi, and all the taumata listening in Ngāpuhi, and all the taumata around the country. This is a statement, an affidavit verbal to you all and the British military, our partner in business and in commerce, assembled Congress members on the 4th, 5th and 6th of February 2016, that we shall repossess, reoccupy, reinstate our flag of sovereign nation state, as it was in 1835, given by King William IV, a king's flag, the only king's flag in the world with that higher British Emperor, Roman Emperor, German, Danish, Swiss, mana, power, alongside Moai, Crown, God's LORE, law of truth, together, memorials, the highest authority on this earth planet, in the world. Okay, so that's my affidavit statement I make today to the British Westminster Parliament and Westminster Government, falling to bits at the hands of tyrants, terrorists, and fraudulent politicians, pedophiles, and everything satanic and devilish. David Cameron and Philip Hammond, Foreign Minister of Affairs, is liable. You are all liable now because of this flag filling the void of what Queen Elizabeth II took off and cleaned out HM Treasury of all its wealth and money, inheritance of a King's Bench Court. We are going to audit with the British military, shall be paid with those pound notes you see on site. The 970 million trillion pound note is debted against all of you, Church and State, Pope Francis, Vatican City, corporate company, City of London, corporate company, Bank of England, corporate company of Evelyn Rothschild, banks, Buckingham Palace, private company, Washington DC, private company, Queen Elizabeth II, private company, owned by Queen Elizabeth II, owns America illegally, and 2 billion people out of 7 billion that are elite, 300 royal families, and all the agents, and we, the principal, to the agent, the Crown agents that are running their corporations and trusts that the Pope destroyed. You are now liable because we still have our flag of Admiralty and you have none. We enforce and foreclose on every one of those trusts and corporations who are breaking our law, the King's Bench Court law, in any court in the world where the Queen's Bench Court QC lawyers and judges sit opposite us, the sheriff of a King's Bench Court, creditor, and you, the debtor. The Queen has created debts and sold land that did not belong to her. She only occupied mortgage title liens. We are the levy debtor creditors to Seizure all back because of the fraud. Our pound note is enforced from today, and our flag enforced from today, and our upper house enforced today, but the pound note is our instrument, legal instrument. We still can mortgage lend you and your property, all your possessions of every single person who is a third party to us and King William IV. Okay, did you get that one, Taumata? I am doing this job to end all corruption and fraud using our flag and British military and Westminster for the wrong reasons. And all those fracking, all the TPPA corporates in the 12 countries of the Pacific, you get a bill from the British military and ANACs, debtors. Debt collectors that we have on contract in UK, Britain. Okay, we are contracting them and paying them to recover all the debts owed, the levy debts owed against all the fraudsters we name, including those 40 I have named for Cook Street, interference of our title between us, the landowners, rent owners, to you tenants. Now, you've got a problem because the police covered up your fraud and the police are caught now and they're going to pay. As the Pope said in his statement, motu proprio, his latest statement is anyone who breaks or uses those laws that he's extinguished and destroyed in corporations and trusts, the Courier law, the Canons law, the Civil law, the UCC law, and the Admiralty mortgage bank loan law, and the Admiralty court-martial laws shall be liable singly as a normal person. So all those names that are in capital, you get a bill for forging them under these laws that we're using at Waitangi under the Moai Crown King William IV Commonwealth Government of the world, the New World Order and the 8-point star of what Pope Francis is using belongs to us. we are claiming everything that Star of Ireland is my family. Ilu, Ireland, Tahiti, Rarotonga, and Aotea, New Zealand, New Zealand. Okay, that's the end of that lot. So I'm just saying, I've just signed the affidavit statement. I, John Hawani Kahaki Wanoa, native Tahitian customary legal advocate of Auckland, swear this is my sovereign truth, so help me God. John Hawani Kahaki Wanoa, Sheriff, Surrogate King William IV, Great Britain Pound, Moai, Crown Pound, Pound Note Levy Creditor. Signed, sealed. All over. That's all I want to say today in this video. And I'll just check back on the site again. On the it has gone over 1 hour and 5 minutes on this video recording. So for the last time, I'll be leaving tomorrow to go back to Auckland from Maura's place in Rotorua. Like family to me, her and her family is my family, as far as I'm concerned. Pākehā and me, the Moai, are pretty well one, and we get on well together. So for all those people who have been chucking off at as Pākehā being this and that, or white men being this and that, I've got one nice one, because there are nice ones and bad ones, and also there are bad Maoris and good Maoris, and also bad everything else around the world. And you're looking at and you're hearing the ones that talk and make trouble, like Obama is black, and with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Bill Gates, you can see the evil that they're creating. And Tony Blair, David Cameron, and all those politicians, John Key and Helen Clark, they have all got the same evil mind. And Moai carries no guns, creates no wars, is peace, love and harmony. Now, where would you get that on Easter Island? And the Chile people came there and buggered that lot up. And the British came here and buggered this place up. And the French buggered it up too. But they make sure to settle themselves in. You're going to have to pay for premium space on an indigenous land now. Now, to those people who have bought 400 Lawton Point Road at Cape Runaway, Hicks Bay, you got a problem, because the road is still native road, and we're still investigating those titles. The real estate company is not telling you that there is a problem with the titles, and on 365 Lawton Point Road, the motel, Lawton Point Motel, you're in trouble as well, because I told you, I warned you what was going to happen. You're going to lose all your titles, and you'll have to get your money back from John Key, because we're going to bill him too, and then lock him up, and lock anybody else that breaks our laws. Those lands are Uetaha, Potikirua ki Waiapu, HAPU lands. Now, that's my ancestors to Rapa Nui, to there. And if you got any argument with that, you better go to court, because you'll lose after I finish with Cook Street, land title, the Manukau Land Company titles, with the Rogan name of my family over it, and down over all the properties down the East Coast, Gisborne, and East Coast. So you got a problem there, standing on that land for so long, and now the previous owners on 400 Lawton Point Road have sold it. You see, they've gone and ran away. I'm going to chase after them. The sheriffs will be after them for holding that land on me. They're going to lose everything. They're going to catch up with them that had that land previously for so many years before the treaty was signed, well before that. They got on there illegally. Woods. Brian Woods. Brian Woods, you got a problem. You're going to go to court, same as what I'm taking these police, taking all those people on the land block, 40 of them, into the court, and win. Because They don't have title. And John Key's government is fraud. And the Lynn's titles are fraud. Because we're just showing you the police are corrupted and held out for the lawyers who couldn't speak or answer my affidavits. And ignorance is not going to work. Ignorance is not going to work with this flag that got you here on these lands in the first place. You are so ungrateful at being the privilege of those lands while we sat with no money from the government or from iwi or from the runanga or from anybody while you scaped off at us. And that Neil Watani, you got a thing or two, will throw you in the court and check you right out, okay? Because you've been smart to me, very smart, that the taumata will fix you up at Rangitukia, okay? Don't care whether you're married into my family, because you're dead. You can very well get out of the road, because none of you have supported me. You only gave me a hard time all these years. And so you pay the cost of that, and anybody else that's been smart and cheeky and also knew too much, and like Tim Duffy, the police detective, was very smart to me, and also Tony Geldenhuis in the Auckland Central Police Station turned against me, and even the private investigator turned against me, grandmother turned against me and stuck up for their corrupted fraud. Now, it's going to catch up with you because you're sitting on our land, and all the indigenous people in the world will get their land back, and Britain will be run over by Islam people because you've sold yourself out, chucked everybody in the world. It's not the same anymore. It's not the same anymore. And all those people are retaliating that are mixed up with their bloodlines because of what you did to us. Okay, but I'm just saying, that's the reality of evolution, is that there's fraud right in the middle of it. It came from the churches. That's why I don't go to church, because I'd rather be like Moai, in the open, straight up. No middleman, even with the pound note, no middleman. Now, the last thing I want to say, Kingi, at Waitangi, that we are organised. Get yourself organised on the marae, and wherever you're going to hold the hui, then I'll be up in Auckland and we can discuss that. I have to sign some documents for Pamia Mackay, my native assessor, and sign some documents for my barrister, Shannon Withers. There's no way that he's going to let this one slip, because he's come from America and he's well and truly into the federal state law of mortgages and land conveyancing to know what to do, because they're more advanced than these lawyers and judges here about how that works, and as much as was what he was in Turkey and Greece doing the land titles over there too. So I'm quite happy with him to be learning this side of the law, straight back to King William by default of criminal activity of the police. So the police in this country, New Zealand, are most corrupted, and they won't get away with it this time. It's going to be out in the open. You're on your own, individually, on your own. And even those people on Cook Street, you're on your own. As the Pope said, he runs the world, he's got the most money, he wields his power, and we are part of that power. With the 8-point star that you see, Jerry Mateparae Andrews, the Governor General of this country, wearing an 8-point star. He's not even Irish. Okay? That's false. He's false. And even the Queen's wearing the 8-point star is false. And even Prince Charles is wearing the 8-point star. He's false. He's Welsh, not Irish. You see? So they're all wearing something that doesn't belong to them. They're using the Moai statue that don't belong to them. That's our title in England. In Queen Elizabeth's Great Court in England. That's my title to my own indigenous Moai people. The Wānoa people on East Island and Royalty Island is my family. My Royal Tahitian family. That title. And the Moai standing in Washington, D.C. New York, Brussels, France, Chile, New Zealand, North Island, Auckland, Dunedin, South Island. Now, one more time. I've been a long time on this video to make it clear that the HAPU is not the iwi. The iwi is not the HAPU. The iwi is the agent of the Crown, and the HAPU is the principal of the land owner. The principal to the agent to the principal, the agent loses any discussion or legal arguments. In a story, British military is listening to this video. Westminster Parliament is listening to this video. It's a conscious decision to make on any politician in the world from what I say is true. It's for you to say it's not. And in the court, the Auckland District Court, it's for the police to say it's not true. Natalie Flower-Dew-Brown, you'll see everybody's reading what you wrote. This is a statement to you, Natalie. You have written those statements as true. Put your name in lowercase and mine in lowercase for a start, then put mine in capitals to make me a dead person. That you were dealing with a dead person. You arrested me, the natural person, in the lowercase and took me to prison. You're going to pay for that, and you're going to have to tell the court and disclose the rest of the information you used with your brain on your own to construct all of that information with your silly, brainless head. I'm telling you, everybody's watching before the judge gets it, because it's online, and everything I put there is admissible in the High Court of Admiralty in London. Only your corrupted police in New Zealand and the judge and the courts and the lawyers and the barristers have got your own fraud club operating to extort money from the innocent people of New Zealand. And myself caught you committing fraud and breaking New Zealand law, which you said for me not to break. Clearly you're broken right in front of everybody. I am demanding for the judge to give me a writ to confiscate my land of the Manukau Land Company title on 61 Cook Street back into our HAPU ownership because of that fraud, because of the cover-up of the police, and because of breaking law here in Britain and New Zealand. You did it in front of everyone, and I'm here to prove that you did it, and it's up to you to say you didn't. If you say nothing, Natalie, you lose by default as a criminal fraudster in a private contract with me. You pay. You lose, you pay. Without subpoenaing you to court if the judge doesn't rule in my favour, which I'm expecting. Pamia Mackay has done a case, a Cree case, and won exactly the same way to libel you, personally what the Pope said, libel you, police enforcer. You enforced those papers on me, and it wasn't an arrest notice approved by your higher authority or even the Solicitor General or a barrister or a lawyer or a JP. You did it yourself, and your colleagues swore that it was true and put your name in capitals. That stuck you as a corporate thug in a commercial court, contract court. A commercial contract court. The Auckland District Court that day was operating in a commercial sense of law to extract money from my accounts in private contract. You initiated the fraud documents, forged them, changed the witnesses' names and put them into legalese form. They would never do that. They would not know how to do it. You did it. You took their statements and fashioned them into understandable language for the judge to understand. They adhered to your documents as if they were real, in fact were fraud. The police followed those laws. The police prosecutor wasn't the one that injured me, you did. You removed my shirt with King William on it and the 8-point star of authority. You removed it from me, my property. You forced entry onto my body and removed my property and my name from me and forged my name and stolen my name, identity theft and mortgage fraud. Those are the two things I'm labelling against you for your breaking the Crimes Act 61, Crimes Act 1961 and all the acts applying to the fraud case cover-up. You covered up the fraud because the conveyancing lawyers for those landowners could not refute all my 3,000 plus affidavits over a 6-year, 8-month period from 2008 year right till now. Okay, so there is enough evidence against you all, and with our flag of authority now on top of what the court can and can't do with the pole, flagpole, on the treaty grounds is that ship of Admiralty 200 miles out in the sea is now going to be our flag, this flag, flying on the top as the dry land flag. Your 1902 Union Jack flag is 200 miles on the sea. It's not a land flag, it is a sea flag, and not a commercial trading flag, bank flag of commerce. It is only a Navy protectorate flag of the sea from any threat to a country, the New Zealand. That's all it is. It doesn't do this job of bounty and prize possessions and manifest and cargo and shipping under HM customs is this flag only. Okay, P&O shipping, shore travel shipping, ocean monarch ship, fly this flag, and now Spirit of Adventure ship in Auckland or in New Zealand, the training ship of the scouts, the young people flew our flag, flew this flag without our authority of the taumata of this country and the taumata of Ngāpuhi, especially because they were the ones that went and got this flag for us, not anybody else. I know he's got their own flag similar to this, but it's not a contract flag. This is the only commercial trading bank of England flag sovereign authority in the world, with a British military black cross of protectorate for our business between us and Britain only. Nobody else. Westminster Parliament. Nobody else. Still today. Nobody else. Okay, so it's our business that I'm saying to the taumata, I'm going where the Queen went around the world with it. They're only here around on this country, land. I'm going around where all the other countries this flag went to. I'm saying it's 250 countries. Whether or not it is 250 countries is irrelevant because it's what I say that counts. Kingi, I'm doing this flag for where it went around the world, underneath in the hold of the ship, hidden away, so that they can use it to transport cargo and gold and contraband and stolen property around the world. Okay, around the world, under Queen Victoria and then Queen Elizabeth. Now she's gone. Now she's gone. You saw me in the court, Kingi. You saw what I said to the judge. You got no queen. You heard what I said. You can say it on Titi Marae when we have that meeting for this flag to go up. They have no queen, Kingi, and they're still acting as though they have a queen, John Key. And the Governor-General has no queen. He has no authority to govern this country without a queen. So they are not disclosing nothing. They're just faking it, as they always have been, doing all these years, since 1835, 1840. And there's no such thing as Maori at 1840 on their Treaty of Documents, because Maori only came out in 1945 and iwi, from the title of Crown. Okay, invention. So that's what I want to say. Thank you very much, people. It is now 1 hour, 20 minutes, 24 minutes of this video running, and I hope it comes out pretty well, and I'm enjoyed bringing this video clip to you as a important issue of the TPPA threat over the Pacific Islands and those 12 countries who are trying to get title ownership with America. It's the worst country out in the world, stealing 69 countries by force, and they're falling apart because the Queen is behind the racket of Obama, and he's falling apart because he's faking all his jurisdictions of Admiralty, court-martial, when it's gone. The Pope took it away. Now the Pope is having Obama up for using this Admiralty when it's gone. He's already got rid of it, and they're still using it. John Key's government is still using the Admiralty when it's destroyed. We are the only ones with this flag now in the world to use Admiralty court-martial law from Britain. Nobody else. Russia can use its own Admiralty law. China can use its own Admiralty law. I'm talking about British Admiralty law. Only with us, the native. Okay, so one more time to my staff. The days are numbered now, and then we'll be going up, Amora and I will be going up to Waitangi, and we've booked in there to the motel to carry on our business with the taumata there. She's from up that way, and live with the Ngāpuhi chiefs in the Hokianga area, the Russell family. So that's my interest now, is her and her part in writing the story of the King John book and all that has happened. They've been tracking me for a long time, like a lot of other people. I haven't had the chance to write the story of the flag and our evolution that will end up as one people, and there will be no more Maori anymore, no more iwis anymore, no more runangas, no more of that corrupted business here and extorting money out of the natural people or the common people of a king. The king, when you use the pound note, is safe to use the pound note king's money and gold when we recover it or salvage using the British military and all the other militaries in the world who join us with their membership in numbers. So we are hoping that a lot of the people have been waiting patiently for us and our Tidal Energy shares, that they will be £25 free for every person who joins, and there should be no other reason to buy any more, and it will self-run itself by yourself, cooperatives, in any country, as long as we get our website going, up and running after Cook Street. Envisage seizing Cook Street before long so that we can develop it. We have plans to develop it straight away as a $5 billion project. Okay, and then the East Cape, all along where that 400 Lotton Point Road will be seized. A whole lot of that area we have to develop the whole lot one shot. So those Brian Woods running away, you were going to run away, and all those other people who are being fraudulent will be chased after. You will be pulled into court. All of you who have stolen all those lands from my ancestors fraudulently through the Crown thugs from Australia. Now, all those people in Australia, those Indigenous people, and all the supporters of those Indigenous people, you'll have your day in court after this long. So don't be surprised if we get through things at Waitangi with the right people who have been following for many years, with all those taumata who have died, passed away. I've been there for such a long time, and I'm going to follow my instincts, go up to Waitangi as normal, and talk in front of everybody as it was, as it still is now, coming to an end. Okay, so good night everybody. It is now 9:17 p.m. on Tuesday evening of the 12th of January 2016, bidding you farewell for now. Bye. Good night.